Hello and welcome to the August editions of Your Questions Answered. I'm Michael, KB9VBR.
And I'm Joe, KD9CJX. Good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening, thanks.
We're making it through the dog days of summer.
As I build it, promoting tonight's live stream, the dog days of summer are upon us.
Oof, the May. And earlier this week, it was nice out. 75, a little bit of a breeze, humidity was down, and then boom, it just hit again today.
It's going to be 90 degrees tomorrow. So 90 degrees in Wisconsin is not a good thing.
It was 91 today on my way home. And there was a brush fire on I-39 on my way home by Stevens Point.
No kidding.
Yeah, just north of Stevens Point, there was a brush fire. And traffic was backed up. So kind of sort of insult to injury today.
You got to sit in the traffic.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of
AC works in the work truck.
Yeah. Speaking of fires, though, we've been inundated with smoke from that Canadian wildfire. I think it's been 21 days straight.
It seems like every morning I wake up, I kind of feel like I've smoked a pack of Marbs already.
I know you got that same feeling too. So we got to switch we got to switch to menthol or something like that. And
right, something minty. That really is cool and refreshing. Ugh.
Yeah, it just clears the throat.
Something cool.
Something cool. Yeah, something cool.
Yeah. Oh man, no, but in all honesty, the wildfires up there are getting worse every year, and to those people, you're fighting a lot. We understand that. So don't want to make too much fun of it, but yeah, the smoke is it's something else. It really is. So but we'll just get through it, right?
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Got a lot of things to talk about tonight, and also we want to take time to answer your ham radio questions, so throw them into the chat. We'll try to get to as many as we can.
We have a really big show tonight, fellas.
Really big shoe. We're going to talk about the Ham Radio Campout. The Wisconsin Ham Radio Campout is coming up. It's less than 2 months away.
Realistically, we have 2 more live streams after tonight before the camp out. So the Thursday before the camp out will be live, and then that Friday it starts.
Yep.
So it's coming up close. I mean, really, the summer's gone. We really got to get prepared for fall here and start cutting some firewood, right?
Oh yeah. So we'll be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about. We've got some questions that I've fielded on common mode chokes, antenna systems, things like that. So we'll get into those too probably after the break. So plenty of time to get the questions. We got a few people filing in here. Be willing. Thanks for joining us, Don Z from
the other side of the river there.
From the other side of the river, Don Z from the Twin Cities. I was trying to find some kind of a rhyming there. Todd is here. Good evening from the Green Bay area.
Yep.
Not looking forward to heat and humidity, but glad it cleared a little bit, but then the smoke cleared, but then the humidity cranked up. So if it's not one or it's the other.
Yes.
So, let's see, Gary and Michael Redziki. Good seeing you in the chat. So, and Bill, greetings from Eastern Pennsylvania. So you call it that too.
Pennsylvania. That kind of sounds like something bad happened last night with a bottle of moonshine. Don't quite know where you're at.
Pennsylvania. So
West Kentucky. Ooh.
So let's see. Okay, we got a few questions coming in. So he invented the name. I'm pretty sure I've said Pennsylvania, but maybe Spotsylvania. I like Spotsylvania, but I know that's a real place in Pennsylvania.
Right.
So. Greetings from Cleveland, North Carolina.
Have you ever heard about the guy in Milwaukee that lives close to the airport who on the roof of his house he painted "Welcome to Cleveland"?
Yes. His house is on final approach for Mitchell International Field in Milwaukee. So big bold letters on the top of his roof. Welcome to Cleveland.
Like I went to Milwaukee, ended up in Cleveland. It just went from bad to worse.
Why, oh, why, oh, why, I'm in Ohio.
Yeah. Oh, Ohio.
Hello from Michigan, where everyone is now a smoker. So
I was in last week. I was in Ann Arbor. And we did on Wednesday last week, we kayaked the Huron River. And even then, there was still a fair amount of that smell. It's like it's an ozone smell, right?
Yeah.
You just kind of feel it. It's it's just getting bad.
It's really that cruddy, just charred smell. It's not even like a campfire smell. It smells like you drive past a burnt out house kind of smell.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So okay, so we got a few questions coming in. We'll see. Let's see. Let's see. Tierney's got a good one. Just got the rig stick for building antennas with my son. Unfortunately, to return the one I received because it arrived used when I paid new. Well, I get that. Yeah. Did I make the right analyzer? Have a do-over now. Okay. So, the Rig Expert stick is a very capable, full-featured antenna analyzer, and I think it, depending on what you want to do, it has a lot of features in it. It doesn't have some of the advanced features like the more expensive models would have, say, like the time domain reflexometer and things like that.
Just say TDR. It's okay.
TDR, and yeah.
Time domain reflectometer. Time domain reflectometer.
Time domain reflect.
Smith chart.
It won't do Smith charts on the display. The display's too small. But one cool thing about it is it's got Bluetooth connectivity. So you get the app on your phone, and you can download your sweeps, and then do all of that. Do everything you want. You can take your sweeps over to AntScope on the PC, and you can, and then you've got everything available to you to look at, like even with the Smith charts and the whole 9 yards. So it'll absolutely do what you want it to do for building antennas. I mean, I've got the stick, and I've got the more expensive. I think it's like the 2000. I probably use the
2000's a beast.
Yeah, I mean, it does everything in a kitchen sink. The only time I ever use it is if I'm working on a project here at the house, though, because if I'm in the field, I'm always got the stick with me, and testing and adjusting. The stick will do it. Cool thing with the Bluetooth is you can leave the stick right next to the feed point. You can walk away, and you can you've got everything on your phone there. 25, 30 feet away from the antenna. So it's. I think it's, absolutely. I think it'll probably do whatever you want to do with it, unless you're going to really get into some really crazy stuff, and then maybe if you want to go that route, pick up like a nano VNA for some of that oddball stuff.
Yeah. I agree. Like this, I think the stick is a great field analyzer. I'm not a big fan of Bluetooth and having the phone and everything, but I get what you're saying. You can stand 25 feet away. It removes capacitive coupling from you and the antenna, so you can get a much a much better idea of how it is performing. So in that respect, I think it's great. I think if you're like a full-time antenna builder, if you are going to be doing a lot of experimenting and building at home, I think you probably want the more full-featured one. But if you're just want to just putz it around, you want to take something out for a weekend, I think the stick is great.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily second guess yourself. Well, let's just say that.
No. I mean, my first analyzer was an MFJ 259, and the stick will run the stick will run circles around it. And yeah, like I said, all of your sweeps can be saved. You can take the stick back, plug it into the USB, and use AntScope on your PC for Smith charts and everything else. Or you've got that Bluetooth capability, and you can do it with your phone. So, and it just that is, I think, is worth the AntScope software and saving things on the device is worth the price of admission right there. So
you have an MFJ 259. I have a Bird UHF VHF. Still with rechargeable batteries, and I bet you if I turn it on right now, it'll come on. She is a beast. I bet I haven't used it in a couple of years. Every now and then, if I got a putz with something VHF for 2 meters, I'll pull that out just because it's a Bird.
Tierney was he was trying to decide between the AA 230 and the Stick 230. I think both of them go up to 230 megahertz.
I wonder how you know that.
Well, yeah. I like that. I like that e-ink display, that monochrome display. It is so easy to read in the sunlight. If you're using it outdoors, the AA 230 is going to have a bigger display though.
Yeah.
But
if you're hearing impaired like me, you really want the bigger display.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say if you're looking for a minimalist approach, go with the stick. If you like a little more full featured, or you just like the bigger screen, go with the AA.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's the sticks. I like my stick. I wouldn't give it up for anything.
Right. And either way, whether you get the AA or the stick, you're still supporting a company that really needs the help right now. The Brick Expert is based in Ukraine. They've been able to continue producing equipment even with the war. I mean, they've actively said that over half their workforce has been on the front line. Yet they're still producing.
R&D is still in Kiev, but manufacturing has almost entirely moved to Dubai now. So,
is it in Dubai now? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So they've been able to avoid a lot of the conflict, and still get their product out that way.
Excellent.
So, all right. Yeah. Donzi says, I love the stick for POTA. Absolutely. It's beautiful for that.
Yeah. In fact, what was it? Probably 3 weeks ago, I did a quick POTA run on a Sunday afternoon and realized I left my Rig Expert at home. So, what do I do? Well, I just extend the whip out all the way for 20 meters. I'm well, I'm into the fray, guys. I'm not going to be on 17.
Just the whistle of the microphone. You should be able to eyeball that whip length, and
you can watch the SWR and the radio, and I was around with it.
Get in there,
right? So
So let's see. Got a couple of questions, a couple other questions here that I really wanted to grab onto. A Refresh is asking, you ever plan to try out some CW POTA operations?
Yeah, Michael, when are you going to do that? When are you going to do that?
It got back burnered again. My God, summer has just been terrible. I got to get my practice back in with Long Island CW, because
there's a Long Island iced tea. I don't think that's going to help you, Michael.
It might. That might improve my sending ability.
It's got a little bit of a swing to it. Yeah, but he's using his dog. He's slurring his dots and dashes.
Yeah. Oh, here's a good one. Mike is asking, quick question. How effective would a 29-foot random wire on a 9-to-1 be with a Elecraft T1 tuner paired 10 watts for POTA? I think it would be quite effective. Now, are you thinking 29 feet is the shortest length you can go to get 40 meters with a non-resonant antenna?
Yeah,
Maybe
a little bit of a stretch.
It's a little bit of a stretch. It's a little bit of a stretch. It as a sloper, or even as a vertical, you can have your 9-to-1 transformer at the base, and it's probably gonna work very similar to the Rybakov antenna. That's something that we've been really playing with quite a bit the last 9 months a year. That's a 25-foot radiator with four 16-foot ground radials and a 4-to-1 transformer at the base. So, and that antenna with the 25-foot and the 4-to-1 transformer is very effective. I've had extremely good luck with that on the upper bands, 10, 15, even 20 meters. Performance drops off when you get down to about 40 meters and below, but still it's quite a for a non-resonant antenna. I've been really surprised. 29 feet, I think you're gonna, as long as you're not really too concerned about the low bands, 10, 15, 20 meters, I think it's gonna work quite well.
Yep, I agree. 20 meters and up, it should be fine. And for POTA, afternoon activation is all you really need. Most of the time during the day, we don't do too much on 40 meters. If you do, it's more of an NVIS style anyways. You're not going to go long with it. So yeah, I think it'd be fine. If you could get a little bit longer, I think 41, 43 feet, I think then you would have better opportunity on 40 or even like 63 feet or 65 feet. That would be even better. But then 29 should work on the upper bands.
49, actually, 40 meters, 49 feet would be perfect for a non-resonant antenna, fed 9-to-1. 29 feet's the bare minimum for 40-meter band. 71 feet works great, 10 through 80 meters. Those are just, and when you think of random wire and non-resonant antenna lengths, those are like three of the stops that tend to be the most effective with the 9-to-1 transformer. There's other places you can be too, but those tend to be the good, very, very effective working spots. So
yeah.
Okay, so Donzi says 41 feet should get you 40 meters. Absolutely. 41 feet, 49 feet, and onwards.
Longer is better in that situation with non-resident and fed antennas. The more wire you get in the air, the better.
That is correct. So, and speaking,
has the list right there: 29, 35 and a half, 41, 58, 71. And 84. Yeah, those are the magic numbers there, or right in those ballparks. Remember, you're adjusting a little bit with velocity factor, but that's right about where you're going to be at.
Yep. Those are all good values. I can only remember so many off the top of my head.
I mean, we've done so many different antennas, guys. Come on, I mean, it's just like, oh yeah, just throw this Fallon on it, or I'll just do this, right?
Yeah.
I'm not bragging, but it's kind of like, just I don't know. You got some wire, throw it up in the air.
Throw it up in the air.
That's it. Sometimes we overthink the length of wire so much that if you just throw it up in the air and tune it, it'll probably work.
It probably will. You'll get it. You'll get it on the. Yeah, you'll get it onto some band at least. So.
Right. And if you got a little manual tuner, the old MFJ Versa tuners, I mean, you can load up a guardrail if you really wanted to. So
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of tuners, we got a lot of with the loss of MFJ, there's companies that are developing automatic tuners. Of course, LDG's been doing it for years, and some of these Chinese auto tuners are flooding the shores. But what we're really missing is a good, honest manual tuner, like the MFJ Versa tuner.
No one needs to do R&D on it. We all know the values, right?
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. You can source the parts anywhere. So why isn't someone making them?
I know. Variable inductance. It's and a capacitor. Variable capacitor or tapped inductance coil, and then a variable capacitor. And man, that's the Versa tuner. It's nothing.
Right. And I think some of the Versa tuners had a 9-to-1 balun in it that you could just attach a piece of wire or a ladder line to the back.
Yes, they did. You could, because they had both a coaxial and an open feed, 450 ohm open feed port. So.
Yes. Right. Mm-hmm. So a couple of years ago with the antenna weekend, that's what I did. I just put a piece of wire in the back of my manual tuner, and I ran that all weekend.
Yeah.
So, and even then, I don't even think it was a measured amount of wire. I think I just had something left over from a job, and like, oh, it's on a spool. Great, I'm going to use that. Right.
That's right.
Again, we look at all these charts, and everyone has this thing, and we have these books and everything, and sometimes just throw some wire up in the air, like you just don't care.
Yeah, but a good tuner to go with that is just then it becomes magic, and those manual tuners, because like Abdul says, auto tune is easier. Too many used ones on the market. Well. Today there's maybe too many used on the market, and we can talk about the limitations of auto tuners. I mean, sometimes you tell it to the auto tuner to make a match and it goes helter skelter, but you're limited to what 1,500 ohms, 2,000 ohms.
There used to be 3-to-1,
3-to-1 for
and Yaesu, ICOM, all their internal tuners were 3-to-1 or best. Nowadays, it's 10-to-1 or more in some situations
for an auto tuner. Yeah,
right. I'm thinking like the G90. The internal tuner on that will tune a wet noodle.
Yeah,
but I digress. I think the same thing with STG, LDG, everyone else's. They're all the same. So.
Yeah, but it's the things you can do with a manual tuner are just beyond sometimes the auto tuner's capabilities, because it's the difference between the stick shift and a auto transmission.
Right.
It's auto is cool because I don't have to think, but boy, it's fun playing with them gears.
Right. Until that transmission goes out the night before field day.
Field day. Oh yeah. So, Brett said something too about. I wanted to catch this here. MFJ still. I don't think I think MFJ has got a back stock of there's a lot of new old stock still available.
I don't know. Well, I read something not too long ago, the past few weeks, that no one's even responding at MFJ anymore.
Yeah.
So they may be done, but I wonder if like the ham radio outlets and stuff, they have all the back stock.
They could. I was at the last time I was at HRO was back in February, and they still had a stack of Versa 948s sitting on the shelves. So, but today that could be different. I don't know if there's any available or not anymore. You can buy them at Ham Fests. I recommend. I always tell people that you go into a Ham Fest, look for a clean, Versa Tuner 948 D or E, one of the later models, and buy it. Don't haggle with the guy. It should be in the neighborhood of about $50 to $90.
Yeah. Speaking of which, so many years ago, many years ago, Michael should remember this because he's involved. I was not able to go to a local ham fest, and Michael went, and he calls me at like 7:45 in the morning. Hey, there's a guy here with a Vectronics tuner, which is
one of the little travel tuners. Yeah,
it's a big one, but it had the cross needle and everything. He says, I want it. And I said, is the Pope Catholic? Yes. It was $20. It was $20, right? And he says, I'll spot you to 20. I'll pick it up. Just pay me. Anyways, I used it for a year, and then there was another fella in our club, older guy, and he needed a tuner, and I lent it to him. And this is probably going on 7-8 years ago that I lent it to him. I went over there, got everything set up for him. So I was out of town a couple weekends ago. My wife calls me. She says, some woman came over here and brought you a radio. Women bringing me radios? No. But then I came home and it was tuner. To come to find out, the gentleman that I borrowed it, he was going into a nursing home.
Oh.
Like, oh. But he remembered to ask her to bring me it back. I had given up on it. I said, my thought was, I should go over there at least just check in on him, see how he's doing. I knew he was getting old up there in age. But the fact that he remembered to have her bring it back to me, that kind of just like warms my heart. I got young guys that have taken stuff and I've never seen it again. But this fella, who's well into his 80s, remembered to bring it back. So that, I mean, it was to the point where I was like, I'm going to go find HT and find out which nursing home he's in, so we can at least get on the air in the evening, sitting around. But I haven't been able to find out where he's at yet. But anyway, so yeah, I got the old Vectronics back now. But I don't need it, so I don't know. Someone might get a free one.
There'll be a ham that needs a manual tuner. So.
Absolutely, yeah, especially a cross needle one. The cross needle ones are the best.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
HT with a tuner. If you need a tuner with your HT, something's wrong, okay? You've really screwed up the antenna.
Yeah. I'm going to grab a quick one here, and then we're almost to the bottom of the hour. But, shoot. The Pilgrim. With an elevated whip, must the counterpoise also be elevated? Yes, the counterpoise has to be elevated. So your vertical whip antennas can operate in two different ways. When they're at ground level, you can use ground base radials, and then the radials almost become non-resonant. The length really doesn't matter a whole lot. What matters more is the number you have spread out. Once you start, it's a ground plane. It's a ground plane, and once you start, as you elevate that vertical element, the ground becomes less effective for you. So you have to elevate your counterpoise, your radials. But once you elevate your radials, now they are no longer non-resonant. They have to be tuned to the particular frequency or band that you're operating on. So
right. Yep. So like the POTA Performer. You have to make that resonance.
Yep.
Same thing with like the buddy stick. Those have to be resonant. So if you have a buddy stick or a POTA Performer, the easiest thing you do is you can just take like little pieces of colored electrical tape and mark your lengths.
Yep.
Right. And that makes it super easy for setup and tear down.
Then you can get to those magic spots super easy. When we first started doing the magic carpet a couple of years ago, I'd have people that their antennas were up on a tripod 2-3 feet up into the air, and they say, it's not working for me. They've got the Faraday cloth or the screen laying on the ground, and the reason it's not working is that because of that distance between the two, you're just totally decoupled from ground. So
right.
It has to, you got to get down, 6 inches ground level is the closer the better. And then it's working. So
Right, and the vice versa is true. Is that those with antennas on a tripod then have the counterpoise laying on the ground, and that doesn't work either.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So elevated whip, elevated radials, ground mounted whip, non-resonant radials.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
There you go. So okay, well, we are at that point of the show where I like to recognize the VIPs, the very important, should be VIHs, very important hams.
Very important Patreons.
Patrons, very important patrons, the people that make the show go. And that is our patrons over at Patreon. And we got a new slug of them come in through the month of July. And that's on our supporter level, Marilyn, Dave, and Ed. Thanks for your support and joining us. On the friend level, Charlie, Dwayne, Brantley, Dan Wiley, Joe, and Roger L. I think Roger just joined today. As I was making the list, he came in. So thank you for your support. I really appreciate it so much. And then those that go over and above are our associate producers. And I like to recognize those every month. And that's Bill, Brian, Dave, Don, Joel, John, Conrad, Jason, Scott, Larry, Taylor, Lyle, Matt. Matt's a new one. Congratulations. Mark, Michael, W4PHO. The third Michael, Mark, Daniel, Bacon is a new one. Thank you for your support. And Tim.
Are you related to Kevin?
So. We're all related to Kevin.
Within 6 degrees.
Have you ever tried to find your 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon? So.
I have not. I'm still about 15 years behind on the internet. I'm trying to catch up. I'm not on the TikTok yet. I just migrated from MySpace, so bear with me.
I got a friend that he was a college buddy, and he used to live out in Hollywood. He worked in the industry, so I'm sure I can get my connection through him. So
okay, that'll work.
I should ask him someday if he knew of anyone that knew Kevin Bacon. So
he might only be 3 degrees away.
He might only be 3 degrees away, so it would be just a closer match for me.
Right.
So how do you get involved with it? Well, the easiest way to support our mission to educate and inspire the amateur radio community is to join us at patreon.com/KB9VBR antennas. And you can join for free. We've got we've got the paid levels that get you the bonus content and things like that. But if you sign up for free, at the very least, you get my weekly newsletter that I put out every Wednesday afternoon after I launch my latest video. I got a little newsletter that follows it with just some additional information, some background stuff, things that are kicking around, in my mind, like John Malkovich style kind of stuff going on back there. And
what the hamsters left behind.
What the hamsters left behind, So that's a free read every week at patreon.com/KB9VBR antennas. And with that, just do a quick message from our sponsor. KB9VBR antennas are simple, effective, and affordable VHF and UHF antennas for amateur radio, MERS, public safety, and GMRS. Made in the USA with quality parts. Get yours online at jpol-antenna.com. Okay.
And we're back. KC9 USB is still on AOL. Well, if you're on AOL, I'm real popular with the ladies on ICQ, okay? Just say.
Have lots of free discs. 20,000 hours of free internet.
Oh, man. If I would have saved all those, I could have made a quilt by now. Oh, could you imagine if someone had a stockpile of those and just been using it for the past 20 years?
Yeah. The 3.5. So they switched to CDs at some point in time.
Mostly I remember CDs, but man, you'd get them all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah, we got in the early days, it was the 3.5 floppy. So you got a good question here. I wanted to grab quick. Joe is asking, one simple question. What antenna would you use for 20-meter DX?
Oh, a simple quarter wave vertical.
Elevated.
Yeah. You could elevate it, but I think a quarter wave vertical, no fancy balun or anything, a 17-foot whip, and some quarter wave radials. I think it's got a low takeoff angle. As long as you're like in a clear area, yeah, it's stupid easy. Otherwise, you have to get like a dipole up 30 feet, 35 feet in the air.
At least it's got to be up a half wave in order to have the optimal DX takeoff angle. Right. The dipole's got to be up at least 35 feet. Right. Consider that. Greg, the POTA Performer guy, he's been working. He's been playing with what he calls his POTA Challenger antenna, which was a half wave vertical for 20 meters. And
so 34 feet tall.
It was not quite. He was using a 25-foot whip with about a couple extra feet of extra wire.
Okay.
And then he kind of that kind of morphed into his POTA Challenger. That was the Dominator, and then the Challenger. He was trying like a vertical off-center fed. It was about 2/3 up in the air, and then about 1/3 with a stub, and a 4-to-1 match. And it had a really good lobe though for DX takeoff. I see somebody else here recommended the 20-meter half square. That's a good choice. I
would say realistically a simple vertical, because 20 meters is still the length that you don't really have to get fancy with things, right? For a quarter wave, 17 feet. Well, usually even in a kind of a substandard plot of land, you can get 17 feet in the air, right? So I would say you can still stay simple on that. You don't need to get a big beam with reflectors and everything else. You don't need to get too crazy. We always talk about the example of Michael. He just sets up a vertical in some marsh up in northern Wisconsin and talks to Australia.
Yeah. Right?
So it's simple and it works very good, even at low power. So that's what I'm going to say. Anything else, you're just throwing a lot of money and you don't get a lot of return on that.
Yeah, that's true. I think, for if you're really considering DX, European DX, vertical antennas with the low takeoff angle typically are going to give you your best bang for the buck. So think about, when you're choosing something, think about that. Well, is it vertically polarized? Now, then can I get it in at such a height or such a level that I can take advantage of that? If that major lobe is going to have that low angle, and I think you'll find that sort of the answer to your question, a good 20-meter DX antenna without breaking the bank, stacked, Yankees with the
right
with the amplifier,
with a turning tower and everything.
Yeah. So I hopefully that answers the question. So all right. Mag loops have a very sketchy reputation, but I find works well. Yeah, they do. The cool thing about a mag loop antenna is that that null gets rid of that noise, so you got a really great signal to noise ratio. And I think if the mag loop, if you wanted a 20-meter DX antenna, if you could build a mag loop that was optimized for the 20-meter band, it would be an absolute killer. The thing that gives mag loops their, I don't really want to say their bad name, but what gives people sort of that bad taste with mag loops is that they're relatively they're a relatively small antenna, but they are also relatively small, and yeah, for their intended purpose, for the bands in which you might want to use them on. So, um, say the standard mag loop, which has a diameter of about 30
Mhm.
inches in that neighborhood, is great for 10 and 15 and maybe even 20 meters. By the time you get down to 40 and 80, well, their Q is so high and their bandwidth is so narrow that they become practically unusable for searching around in the band. But if you were to make that loop an appropriate size for the band, so enlarge the magnetic loop,
Mhm.
yeah, then you're
Yeah, I think
going to be a
chameleon
killer.
loop is a 10, 15, and maybe 20 meter
Mhm.
antenna, right? And then they give you some extra stuff to try to get down in 40 and 80. Um,
Yeah,
I
it's a
like
challenge.
mag loops, but it's knife edge tuning on those. So you
Mhm,
just got to
mhm.
be aware of that. But so you're not going to just be spanning around the entire band looking for something. You're going to kind of find something and you're going to have like a 10, 15 kilohertz bandwidth, and that's kind of what you're going to work with.
Yeah, yeah. But that standard size of mag loop that you see on the commercial ones for 10 and 15 meters, you've got like 50, 60 kilohertz already. So
Right.
that's a lot of wiggle room.
Mhm.
So, mhm. So all right. Uh, all right. Bugs taking notes, just past the general. So
Hey,
hey, congratulations. We're gonna give you a little bit of I can't find it in here. We'll give you a little bit of applause.
he's down to one screen tonight, boys and girls.
My problem tonight is I got my second monitor is not working for whatever reason, so I gotta shuffle back and forth, and it's just bugging me.
It's bugging you. There you go.
It's bugging me. It's bugging me. So, all right. Well, speaking of bugs, because there's not going to be bugs where we're going, and that is the
Oh,
Wisconsin Ham Radio Campout.
now
That
that's a lie. There will be bugs that weekend. We will
in
probably
October.
be swarmed by October mosquitoes. Like there'll be zombie mosquitoes by that time.
You
They
know,
don't go for the blood; they go for the brains.
so this year's our Ham Radio Campout is the first weekend in October, October 3rd through the 5th, and we're at Buckhorn State Park. And if anybody has camped at any of the Wisconsin state parks, you will know that Buckhorn is notorious for its mosquitoes. It
Most of their mosquitoes are allowed to vote in Wisconsin.
They are. They are.
Yeah.
They're so large they've got protected status.
No. They have mob protection.
Mob
Okay.
protection.
Different.
So, but hopefully, but hopefully it's not gonna they'll be gone by then. It's because it hopefully it'll frozen or have gotten cold enough that they'll just you know
Yeah.
shiver up their little
Hopefully
wings.
we've had a good frost by
Yeah,
then. And
yeah,
when we
yeah.
get that late September frost, that'll usually take care of most of them. We'll still
Yep.
have to worry about ticks though.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got some is there a hunting season for them?
Oh
You
yeah,
can get
you can
yeah,
hunt them with a small game license.
yeah, yeah, they're small game. That's all you need. No bag limit.
Yeah. You need any federal waterfall stamps or anything. Just
Yeah,
go after.
just go after
You can even use lead shot.
them. So I'm gonna pull up the reservation site. If you're there's it's kind of good news and bad news here about the camp out. This is going to be the biggest, and I'm hoping the best ham radio camp out we've had. This is the third year we've done it.
Mhm.
And we have gotten Buckhorn State Park is probably the largest park that we've gone to so far. And we are, we've started back in December. We're telling people, make your reservations now. And
we started making reservations in February.
In February, yes. The campground in the north loops here, sites 47 to 84 and 85 to 105. Unfortunately, both of these loops are now full of campers. And these are all, for the most part, these are all people that are attending the event. So there is there's over 50 sites here. So I'm expecting over 50 sets of amateur radio operators to come and join us that weekend. There are a couple sites open at Buckhorn, and they are over on the eastern edge of the park. The group camps and East Backpack sites. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are tent or actually they're trailer sites. They're up to about 30 feet in length, so you can get a small camper in there. So there is an opportunity. You're not with the main group, but you're close enough to the action. You can come on over to the main group and participate in all that stuff if you want to be a part of the activity. The second thing I wanted to say is that if you want, you can do, what do they say in the airline biz? Ride standby. And right here up on the screen, you've got this ability to you can you can make a notification. So if you're looking for a certain type of site, you can be notified when those sites, if somebody cancels, you'll get an email, and then you can hopefully grab that cancellation.
But wait, what if someone cancels and you want to get in on it in advance?
Yes. So cancellations are inevitable, because I've been telling people, if you're, earlier in the year, if you're remotely interested in attending but aren't quite sure, reserve the site and then cancel it later, but be sure that you cancel it. So what I recommend, if you really want to get in on the cancellation thing, what most people do, and I'm going to have to remove this, and I'm going to have to add a different screen. Let's see. Like I
Windows
said,
XP is such a superior operating system, isn't it, Michael?
So we've got an email group, the Wisconsin Ham Radio Campout email group. Join this group because if somebody's going to cancel, they'll usually put an email out that says, "I'm releasing my site. If anybody interested," and then you can get get together and make those arrangements, because if you cancel a site, you're gonna lose a reservation fee or something like that. So yeah, get to the group's site. Say you're looking for a site, if anybody is interested in canceling, or if you have to cancel the site, say, "I'm canceling, anybody interested in picking it up," and then you can kind of make that make that exchange. I'm not dealing with reservations at all. That's just like beyond my scope.
Right.
So
that's a private transaction.
Yeah. I don't want to have to deal. I got enough stuff to worry about in keeping this thing running. So I have everybody make their reservations directly on the reservation system. I have everybody do their cancellations, their exchanges directly, and that's the one part I don't handle at all, which makes it good, because now I don't have to touch money. So
and interesting enough, while we're looking at this page, Michael, behold the new logo for this year.
The new logo, yeah, isn't that cool? So
I like it.
Let me tell you a little bit about the new logo. and we've got merchandise available too. That's open to everybody. So the Buckhorn State Park is known for two interesting ecologies. Number one is the sand barrens. Buckhorn sits in a relatively low point in the state of Wisconsin, and it's the bottom of what was once known as Glacial Lake, Wisconsin. 15,000, 17,000 years ago, a big chunk of the central part of the state was underwater because as the glaciers melted, everything just kind of piled up in the middle of the state. Other glaciers sort of blocked the flow, and it all stood like that for thousands of years until one day the dam broke at Baraboo and everything emptied in 3 days and created Wisconsin Dells.
Right.
So
and the Wisconsin Dells has sucked ever since.
It's sucked ever since. So the sand barrens is a rare ecology. It's got some flora and fauna you're not going to find anywhere else in the state. And then the oak savannas that just hand in hand with the sandy soil are these marvelous oak trees. So you can get your Wisconsin Ham Radio Campout swag. I'm gonna remove this screen. So we can pull a new one up. Head on over to, you'll probably, if you're watching this live stream on like a computer screen or something like that, you might see the merch underneath the image window. Otherwise, if you go to, I'll throw the link in here. You can get sweatshirts, t-shirts, coffee mugs, tote bags, all this cool stuff with the Wisconsin Ham Radio Campout logo on it. And the proceeds there help support the event. It buys us bacon, basically. So.
Yeah, Michael, I did not know there was going to be a pink T-shirt. I would have opted for that one.
There is a pink T-shirt.
I love it. I might get it anyways.
I think the pink one is women's sizes, but you could probably get like a 4X.
As long as you got like a 6X women's.
Yeah. You get a little crop top there, you know.
Oh yeah. So. Everyone's gonna love me coming in a crop top. Especially the mosquitoes.
Yeah. So check it out. If you order between now and August 10th and use coupon code HAMCAMPER, and I'll just put that in the chat, you will save 10%. So ham camper canned ham save 10% now through August 10th. So that's to get everybody. It takes time to get these things produced, and I want people to get their merch early if they're attending the event. So
right, I think last year some of us didn't get our stuff till Christmas. So
yeah, unfortunately.
Is this a different vendor this year or the same one?
It's the same one, but
okay.
I'm hoping that since we're 2 months out, we're not going to get caught up in delays. I'm going to try to keep an eye on things too. If anybody notices, normal turnaround time is usually about 10 days or so. If you order and it looks like it's taking longer than that, let me know, and we'll see if we can get the wheels moving on their production.
We'll write them a very sternly worded letter.
A sternly worded letter, of course.
A sternly worded letter.
Oh my Lord! So that's it for a nutshell for the Ham Radio Campout. As we get closer to the event, more information will be released primarily on our email group. So if you want to know about events that are going to be happening during the weekend, other things or things to do in the area, join us, subscribe to that email group, because then you'll be on top of all of those notifications.
Yeah. our weekend schedule with presentations,
Mm-hmm.
the potluck on Saturday nights.
Yep.
What to bring for the potluck, of course.
Yep.
That'll all be on the group's IO.
Yeah, that'll be on the group, and we'll be putting that stuff together about early September. We'll get hopefully by the September live stream we'll have all of our events nailed down, and then the other stuff that's going to go on.
Yes, our highly trained and highly paid production staff will be working on that.
Yeah. One last thing I just wanted to mention is that Wisconsin has kind of changed the check-in and check-out times for camping. So you can't check in before 3 p.m. on your arrival day, and you have to check out by 1 p.m. So if you wanted to have an early arrival or a late departure, you might want to think about extending your stay an extra day on the head or the tail of the event. I'm actually I booked an extra night so that I can have that early arrival come up Friday morning, so I don't have to worry about that at all. So
your boss let you have the extra vacation day, is what you're saying?
My boss, yes.
Yeah, Christine.
This is a work trip.
Oh, so when he says it's a work trip, that means he's writing it off on his taxes.
Yeah. I'm an LLC. You know, it's one of the benefits.
It's Ham Radio related. You can write it off.
Yeah. Late check-in time just means POTA in the parking lot. There you go.
No. You just park in Michael's spot and you do an activation right there. So whenever you show up, just pull in and we'll find a spot for you.
Check out some of the other parks in the area. There's a lot of great opportunities. The Neseda National Wildlife Refuge. There's 2 wildlife areas that are a stone's throw from Buckhorn. Of course, Rocha Cree State Park is about a half-hour drive to the east.
Yeah, and Rocha Cree. So the main gate will probably be closed that weekend.
Yeah, but if you go around the corner,
winter schedule,
yeah, but if you go around the corner, there's a winter parking lot. Just that first route south of the main gate, and then about a half-hour west is Mill Bluff State Park.
Yeah, interesting enough. So Buckhorn is only about 30 minutes away from where we did Winter Field Day.
Yes,
if you remember that. So we're not too far away from a Big Roche Lake. So kind of sort of stomping grounds for us, really. And actually, I grew up about an hour away from there, so that's really sort of like my home turf there.
There you go.
Honestly, my earliest camping experiences when I was a kid was on the other side of Petenwell at Petenwell Park in Adams County. So I remember that lake very well. So it'll be good. It'll be a good time, I think.
Yep. So good. Mark's asking, is there going to be a call-in freak? There will be a call-in freak. And I got to look up. I'm not going to tell you the repeaters now because I don't remember. Probably the
Nesita's probably got a repeater, but we'll have to look it up.
Yeah, Adams. There's a good one in Adams.
Yeah,
Coloma.
Or I mean, even the Wisconsin Rapids, the 7-9 machine. That one talks forever. So maybe that one, but we'll post it on the group's IO.
Yep. By early September, I'll have the communication plan. So there'll be plenty of talk in because we'll probably I'll check the list to see if any repeaters are serviced by any wide networks like FM 38 or the WECOM. So for people coming longer distances, if they want to, he will
have a communication plan on an ICS form.
205. We will file it. We will file a 205.
Why do we need to bring spreadsheets into a campground? Man, it just ruined it for me. I'm staying home. Somebody got my campsite.
Otherwise, otherwise 5.2 simplex will always be monitored.
Yeah, that is true. We'll always have a radio on 5.2. So
yeah.
And if you come in and you're on 40 meters, we'll probably catch you as well, because usually 40 local is always good.
I didn't think about that. That might not be a bad idea. So we'll have to do a little bit of maybe we'll have a HF net or something coming in.
Oh my God! Honestly, we could have the world's worst 160 meter net. As long as it's in a couple 100 feet, we're fine. all the people in POTA were like, where are all these 160 meter logs coming in from?
Well, if you can't get your 10 band N1cc for buckhorn that weekend, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
So,
oh Lord.
What's CB channel?
19. We're going to be on 19.
Yeah, we'll be on 19. We'll be on 19. What is it? What was that line from Smokey and the Bandit? You know, if I say go to channel 6, you go to channel 8. If I say channel 4, you go to channel 7. You know?
Every time I see Smokey and the Bandit, the only thing is, why do the cops have a CB?
It was the 70s.
Sure.
Oh man. Okay, let's grab a couple more questions here. Abdul's asking, can I run 50 feet of RG316? And that kind of leads
50 feet or whatever you want.
Yeah, you absolutely could. The problem with RG316 is it is a relatively lossy cable. It's a beautiful coax because it is so thin and lightweight. Backpackers love it. But I don't have the gain specs in front of me here. But I think on the 10 meter band, you know, you're losing about 3 dB, and 20 meters, you know, it 20 meters, 40 meters, it gets better. But it is just keep into consideration, you know, if you want to, you know, if you want to live with the losses of 316, then use it. I use it. I keep some in my kit, but I don't use more than 25 feet of it at a time.
Right.
Just
if
because
you were going ultra lights pack, sure. 25 feet, you'd run. I wouldn't run 50, but 25 feet, that would be just fine.
Yep.
But I for what it's worth, you know, you could probably just get some 8X.
8X, you know, 50 feet of 8X is has, you know, really good loss characteristics on the HF band. So
yeah, and
that's my go-to cable.
Even 58 has okay loss characteristics.
Yeah. It's okay. So, nothing outstanding. Right. You know, for portable operation, I don't think you need to haul out, you know, LMR or things like that.
No, I'd smack you in the face if you did. That's insane.
I mean, you think about the marginal gains you're going to get with 50 feet of LMR 400 versus 50 feet of RG58, and it's not worth the weight that cable brings.
We talk about our losses, and all I can think of is like what the microwave cable when you're talking about dB per inch.
Yeah, dB per inch.
Run whatever you got, really.
Yeah,
I mean, as long as it rolls up and it's got good connectors on it, you don't got any kinks in it, it'll work.
It'll work.
Yeah, when you get to 50 feet, you know, 8X or what's the equivalent of 8X? Belden. I can't remember what the Belden version of it is, but yeah, that's usually what everyone runs.
Yeah,
and you can get it so cheap in so many places. I don't see why you want to run 316.
Yep. Other than if you're backpacking.
Yeah.
if you're backpacking, then 25 feet's cool. And that's
but you want to take 50 feet backpacking anyways.
No. If you're going QRP, a 10-footer might be enough, depending on how you're deploying the antenna.
Right.
Yeah, we talk about here somebody's. There we go. I'm guess this must be for 316. So
yeah, 2.5 dB.
2.5 dB at 10 megahertz, 4.3 dB at 30 megahertz for 100 feet. So 50 feet.
Yeah.
So 50 feet at 30 was 2.1, which is what I was close. Guesstimating 3 dB loss on the 10 meter band. So
right, yeah, 4.3 dB at 30 megahertz for 100 feet. That's pretty significant loss right there.
You're cutting your power more than in half at 100.
Yeah.
So 50 foot piece would be 2.1, 2.2 dB. 25 feet would be 1.25, which is acceptable. So
right.
Yeah. So absolutely. There are some cases. When we talk about coax and portable operations, and there's some cases where super low loss cable might be of benefit, but in order for that to happen, you got to be running a wildly non-resonant antenna that just has a higher than normal SWR running through the cable. Then you don't have to worry. Then you don't worry so much about those feed line losses before you get to the tuner. But that's probably a bit of an anantha for portable operations anyway. You want to try to minimize those losses. The SWR the best you can. And you can do that a couple ways, either using a resonant antenna or to keep your feed line short. So
right. Or both.
or both. Exactly. So good deal. Let's see. Matt's asking, thinking about putting my Wolf River coil Silver Bullet 1000 on my truck for HF mobile. What length would you recommend for a whip while driving? I could do a standard 102. Just seems unwieldy.
Don't they come with like a 66-inch whip for mobile?
Well, if you are in motion, you're going to have a rigid whip. And the Wolf River guys, Gary and Terry, mobile their Silver Bullet 1000, and they use the 102-inch stainless steel whip.
Do they have a curved coiled over towards the hood like they did on Smoking the Bandit, or
no? It's full salute. So
okay, full salute.
Full salute.
Okay. Full salute. I was full salute once.
But it's the telescoping whips are just they don't work when you're mobile because the wind load is just gonna crumple them.
Yeah, so if you got a stainless one-piece whip, 102 inches.
Yeah,
that'll be fine. Rock and roll.
That's what they do with theirs. I mean, they're mobiling it. They're mobiling their 1000s with.
Yeah, you can't go through the drive-through with it, but that's fine.
You can. Well,
you probably don't need that Big Mac anyways, right?
Yeah.
But if you got to hit the ATM, you're kind of out of luck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if there's a shorter, if there's whip length is dependent upon what bands you want to operate on. So the Silver Bullet 1000 is actually optimized so you can operate 15 through 20 meters with that 102-inch whip.
Mm-hmm.
15 through, I said right, 15 through 80 meters with the 102-inch whip.
15 through 80, yes.
15 through 80 meters with the 102-inch whip. So if you go with a shorter whip, you're going to lose the low end, but you'll gain it on the top. if that's important to you. So if you can find a rigid, maybe take 102, cut it down to 60 whips, because 60 inches for your whip length, then, or 54 inches, then you got 6 meters, 10, and probably 20 meters.
Right.
So,
if you really wanted 10, though, you can just put a CB whip on top of your car too. So,
yeah,
I mean,
there you
it
go.
really comes down to it. But I mean, the Wolf River stuff is for 15 and up. It really is.
Yep.
A lot of people work 10-meter mobile, but that's a different antenna. So
10 meter, 10, with the 102-inch whip. So that's what they built it for that whip for mobile operation. So love to see a video of someone changing bands while mobile down the highway. So the Wolf River makes a dual collar that you can set 2 different frequencies or 2 different bands, say like 20 and 40 or something like that, and you got a plug between the 2 to engage the one and disengage the other. If you could come up with some kind of a relay system, you could have that dual collar setup, and then push that relay to break the connection.
When you're driving down the road and operating, you're on one band.
Yeah,
you're not switching bands. The most you can really do while driving is you can turn the dial.
A lot of people, a lot of people when they mobile, they'll either stick to 20 or they'll stick to 40. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it just depends on how I don't do a whole lot of HF mobile, so but that's
I had the setup in my Explorer, and I used it like twice, and I never used it again. It just wasn't a thing for me. So but some people operating mobile and either rag chewing or county hunting. Those are the 2 things. That's the big thing. And I'm not a county hunter, and I'm not a rag chewer.
Yeah. If you really want a mobile HF and you want to do it effectively, I mean, you can go with Yaesu's like ATES 120. That's one way to do it, but you got to be old school and get the Hustler with the plate on
the resonators,
with the plate and 3 resonators. But now this is a big antenna.
Oh yeah.
And
you're going to have a lot of wire in the air.
You got to get the ball mount for the side of your vehicle.
Like a 1970-80 Cottaline van.
So if you want to, if HF mobile is important to you, you're going to commit to it.
You got to be all the way in. Balls in, right there.
All in.
Yeah. Oh, my Lord. I just remember Brent, God rest his soul, K9MIX, and he had this little Astro van with a Hustler on the back. And I don't know how many counties he had on it, but he was all in on it.
He was all in.
He had an IC 706 in the front, and he had the Hustler in the back. And man, that guy could make contacts anywhere.
I got his Hustler, and I got the plate. And James says, the tri-band is huge. Tell me about it.
Put it on the back of a little red camper.
Yeah, so that's the ultimate goal would be to put it on the camper, because it would look so cool.
Right. If you put that on the back of the Subaru, the wind load alone would probably kill your gas mileage.
Well, I was thinking of doing some kind of a hitch mount, but then I would only deploy it when I'm stationary. So.
Yeah, because you can't open the hatchback with
it. Oh no, he's being Iron Ham's being sarcastic. So
yeah, the Tar Heel is a tried and true mobile antenna.
Yeah, no, that's a great choice, Ed. And mobile, there are some crazy people that mobile though. So it's you just opened up like a portal.
Yeah, yeah. We have a story of one guy, another individual who's deceased. He could operate mobile CW while driving and still have a conversation with you if you're in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's professional right there. Talk about texting driving. How the hell did he do that? Right?
But then, he had a monster whip on the back of his Nash.
Oh God. Yeah, I've seen the pictures of the Nash and the batteries in the trunk.
And the batteries in the trunk.
It's something else. It was old school.
Old school. All right. So grab another question here. Roger's asking, my end-fed half-wave antenna has a 64-to-1 balun. Would it be a direct connect to the LDG Z11, or would I need a different balun? Typically, with an end-fed half-wave, you should not need to use the tuner at all. And if everything is set, you can direct connect, right to the transceiver without a tuner.
Right. So with an end-fed half-wave, you should already be resonant, but because you're feeding it from the end, you have a stupid high feed point impedance.
Yeah.
Feed point impedance, been a long day. So the 64-to-1 reduces it close to 50 ohms, and then you should be able to go right to that. So you shouldn't really need a tuner. If you do need a tuner, double check your length.
Yeah. Now, James says that, the tuner would get the work bands. It certainly would. Yeah. Sometimes, sometimes 15 meters is a little flaky on end-fed half waves, and a tuner would help with that a little bit. For the most part, you shouldn't need the tuner at all. Try it without, and but 60. There's a couple of different schools of thought with end-fed half wave. Some use the 49-to-1 balun, and the others use the 64-to-1, and both will work. Typically, an end-fed half wave has got an expected impedance of about 3,000 to 5,000 ohms. If you're on the low end, the 3,000 ohms, the 49-to-1 is perfect. If you're on the high end, the 5,000 ohms, the 64-to-1 is perfect. Depending on how, what you have your wire, cut at, may determine, which balun is actually it's an because you're unbalanced, is the best choice.
Yeah. Clutch is, remember, velocity factor, but remember, if you're using insulated wire, your velocity factor is like 0.93, 0.94. Right. So you're, there ain't much there velocity factor. If you're actually using like coax or something, then that really plays more a part into the overall length. But if you're using insulated wire, not so much. If you're using uninsulated wire, well, there's the velocity factor is practically 100. It's almost perfect. But there's a lot of other things that go into it too, besides velocity factor. That's where you get that 3,000 to 5,000 ohms. Yeah,
and I guess his big question is that would the tuner get you 80, 75 meters? It will. I've used the external tuner to get on some nets on the 80 meter band. It works. More, usually.
So you're really, either way, you're probably almost operating NVIS at that point, unless you can get it 50, 60 feet in the air. So you're really operating NVIS. So your options of getting out are kind of limited. They are limited. You're going to have a regional coverage, but you're not going to have DX coverage.
Yeah.
40 or 75 and 80. So that's kind of where you're at. But if you're just having a little fun at a park in the evening after dinner, rock and roll.
Yeah. You know what's cool though? and this is something that Dave does, KZ9V, is that so you consider your infit half-wave antenna, the cut for 40 through 10. The wire length is about 65 feet or so. That is close to a quarter wave on the 75, 80 meter band.
Yeah.
If you can disconnect from the transformer your radiating wire and feed it directly to the center of your coax, and then the braid of your coax can go to some kind of a ground network, either a counterpoise laying on the ground or something like that. He likes to use a couple pieces of, or your trailer hitch, or your trailer hitch, something to act as that ground connection. You can turn that into a quarter wave sloper, and he does pretty well on that, especially CW and data.
He actually did that at Winter Field Day, but he had a 75 or 80 meter, and then he switched it to 160.
160.
And he was operating on the RIDI contest that night.
Yep.
He was making contests. He was making contacts at 160, and he said, "That is a genius."
Yeah. Mr. G. Marconi is asking, anyone playing FM 6 meters? Good question.
No.
6 has been hot. I unfortunately, I haven't. And 6 has been hot this summer. I've seen quite a few band openings on the map behind me. They're all the VHF, UHF is all closed right now. We got some hot weather coming the next couple days. We might have some warm air aloft that might, some give us
stormy hot weather.
Weather. Yeah.
Can I disclose something, Michael?
Yes.
This is bothering me. I've been a very bad ham. Very, very bad ham. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I haven't put my 3000 back on the desk yet since field day.
Oh my Lord!
It's been sitting over here. I haven't put it back up yet. I mean, every weekend I got a project, and it's like I just need to play some radio, and I haven't done it. Bad ham.
At least you got out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I did. It was a Sunday afternoon, and I was sick and tired of doing the housework, and I said, I'm leaving the house. I need to get out of the house. And my daughter came with me because she was also sick and tired of getting out of being in the house.
Need to get out of the house.
Yep, we needed to go. So we went to the Wolf River and did a twofer real quick and came back, and it was a good time. But I haven't. So but my 6 meter antenna, we had 3 trees come down, or we had them taken down last December. Yeah. And I took my 6 meter quarter wave antenna down. I haven't put that back up yet.
Oh, gee.
I know. I'm really bad. I probably need to go to confession. I gotta say a lot of confession. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the Paperwork Ninja is asking, how do you set up POTA spots ahead of time? Can't get cell service at Newport State Park in Door County and want to make sure I'm on the spotting list. All right. So Newport State Park is an awesome place. I haven't been there myself, but I should I'm going to pull up a map here because I think this is the best way to kind of, come on.
Yeah. And while he's doing that, I would just recommend you got a friend, phone a friend. If you don't even got a phone, just say, hey, I'm going to be over here at this time, spot me. Or could you get on the repeater and have someone spot you? I mean, there's a lot of things you could do.
Well, not if you're at Newport State Park. So, okay, we've got, all right. So we got the state of Wisconsin here.
Oh,
and you see the little finger sticking up. Okay, this is the Door County Peninsula. And way up at the top is...
Oh, there's nothing up there.
There's nothing up here. This is Washington Island. And you take a ferry to Washington Island. And then at the tip of Washington Island, you take another ferry to Rock Island. Well, actually, oh no, wait, you're in Newport, right? You're not Rock Island. Okay, oh, excuse me. You're at Newport State Park. That's at the tip. So we're not even taking the ferry yet. Okay. Yeah, where I've been to Newport State Park, and it's a dark sky park, because look at that. It's a beautiful place. Okay, so now that I remembered, this, if you've got, do you got cell service? What's your cell carrier, I guess? I got T-Mobile, and there are one or two places in the park I can get a signal, but there's other places in the park I can't get a signal. I know Cellcom has got the best coverage in the peninsula. But
when they're not being hacked.
When they're not being hacked. Okay, so here's your options. If you're in a park that doesn't have cell service and you want to activate, if you're on phone, what you can start out by calling CQ, and hopefully the first couple people you get will spot you. That usually works. If you're using one of the digital modes like FT8 or CW, you can schedule an activation. So, and I'll pull that. So we've got the, I'm gonna just pull up the POTA page here.
Well, actually, if you're running CW, the reverse beacon network can pick you up. It takes a little bit. They can pick you up.
Okay, yes and no. So in order for the reverse beacon network to pick you up, you gotta do something first, and that is to schedule your activation. Otherwise, the reverse beacon network doesn't know to look for you. So okay, so we're on the POTA app page here, and if I go to the little hamburger button up on the top, you can you've got add a spot, and that's what everybody does, when you're on the air, but you've also got add an activation. And what that is if I scroll down to the bottom of the page here, we don't have any scheduled activations, unfortunately. So I can add my location, my start date, my end date, my start time, end time, expected frequency, and then any comments. And if you added the frequency, say like 7074, if you're going to do 40 meter FT8, or if you're going to do 40 meter CW 7057 or something like that, put that in there, CW, FT8, things like that. And if you start activating on either CW or digital, and you have this pre-built activation, then the reverse beacon network will find you and spot you. So that would be an option. There's a really cool app called SodaMat that you run on your phone, and this takes a little bit of setup ahead of time. But what SodaMat does is, we'll just close this here. Oops. What SodaMat does is it allows you to send a spot through the digital or FT8 by putting the information into your phone, and then you hold your phone up to the microphone, and it transmits the FT8 sounds through, it goes to the microphone, and then it transmits out, and then like the reverse beacon network, the little SodaMat network is listening to you, and it will it'll create a spot, and it is remarkably good at doing that. You don't need any kind of cell service anywhere to do that. You're going to have to do a little bit of work, a little bit of setup ahead of time. But it does a remarkable job of creating that creating that spot by sending a little data burst through the FT8 channel. And
but
so
can you use it for sideband?
No, you got to do it. Well, you can do yes, you can use. It doesn't matter what mode you're going to actually operate on. So if you wanted to use it for sideband, if you wanted to use it for CW, you're using SODAMAT for is to send that spot to.
But can you send that FT8 signal on in the sideband portion of the?
No,
okay.
no. You have to switch to the FT8 channel and send the data, and then you go back to voice, and you start your activation.
Okay. So you still got to go to 70, 74, whatever band.
Mm-hmm.
But once you go there, whatever frequency in the upper portion of the sideband part of the band, it'll put that on.
Basically, what you're going to have to do, you have to set up some base frequencies in SODAMAT in order for it to operate. Mm-hmm. But if you've got like a half a dozen, say 20 meter frequencies or a half a dozen 40 meter frequencies that you want to start, then you could like, that's part of the process of building out SODAMAT.
Okay.
But then it's find an empty spot, punch in, that frequency and mode, hold it up, switch to FT8, hold it up to the microphone, let it do its burst, and then you should get your spot. So that, and it works. Dave uses it. It works reliably well. If you've got an iPhone, there's another program called, see if I can find Offline Spotter. And what this does is it allows it forms if you can at least send a text message out, because sometimes data, there might not be enough of a signal for a data burst to go through and pull up that POTA app screen, but you could get an SMS message out. You can use this. If it only works on iPhones right now, but Offline Spotter will send a SMS message with your spotting information, and that works that's really reliable too.
Android users don't really care about.
Yeah, it's only on the one platform at the moment, right. But it works. I've used it a few times, and it works really well. The newer iPhones, I think the cool thing with iPhones though is the newer ones have that satellite service now, so they can like the iPhone 16 can interface with Starlink.
Boo.
Some
people say
that. So you can send text messages via Starlink if you're out in the sticks. So there's three different ways to get your spot out. Pre-registering your activation and then staying on data or CW using SODAMAT or Offline Spotter, or just
God forbid you call and you make a contact and you ask them to spot you.
Giving it the old college try.
Hey man, I've been out there calling for half an hour and just like, come on, anyone, please.
Oh, I know, we've all been there.
Then you look like, I did a hook up to coax. Why?
Yeah. WinLink HF, you can use AP Spot. That's another option. You can spot through.
You need a thingy if you're going to do WinLink.
Yeah. Well, you're going to need the thingy anyway. The data interface.
Yeah.
Oh, for JS8 call.
Why can't I think of the data interface?
An interface. Yeah.
That thing that looks like a modem.
The thing. That thing.
It's
JS8
been a
call.
long day, guys.
JS8 call lets you do it too. So.
Yeah, a TNC. Thank you, USB. A TN freaking C. This freaking thing. I don't know.
This
I got like
thing.
5 of them.
Yeah.
It's been so
Or
long since I used the
yeah.
teens. The Digirig, yep, you can use that too.
Okay, so yeah, so it can be done. Yeah, all different ways. So, let's check here. Any other questions? Be Willen is asking, how do I deal with an S9 noise floor on my HF radio? I live on a small, densely pack of suburbia, 30 by 100 feet.
Well, you hunt down your neighbors with the plasma TVs and you dispatch them. No, I'll take this one. First of all, go through your house and find out what's causing noise. And it's maybe simple as like turning off breakers one at a time and doing a little hunting searching, right? That'll probably get it down to a 7 or a 5. You can't really deal with the neighbors, right? I used to have neighbors with a car charger, and that was terrible on 20. I had this pop, 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 pop noise on 20 meters just constantly. Yep. They've moved now, and I don't have that problem anymore. But the old turn off the breakers. The things that really, really kill a noise for are little chargers, little power supplies.
Yes.
For phones, for charging anything, USB, because those start switching power supplies and they're noisier than all hell.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Go ahead and eliminate those first, right? Then you could try like a choke or maybe a bandpass filter. That may help as well. But if you go around the house and you unplug, you can get one of those.
It's a fancy common mode choke. It's the Palomar Engineers coax noise filter. So
yeah, that's just. But go through the house and just get rid of all that stuff that's plugged in, and you'll find out that helps a lot.
Yep.
And like my daughter, daughter upstairs, she needed LED lights for her room. Like the little track lights. Yeah, right there. You got it, Aussie Ham. And I swear it killed 40 meters. I got great roofing filters on my radio, and it killed 40 meters. And I had one day like, turn those off, honey. Daddy needs to play radio tonight. I said, but why? Like, come downstairs. Come on. This is show and tell. Turn them damn things off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You'd be surprised how much interference you have just within your own house.
That you go, doing an inventory in your house gets rid of a lot of the noise, and then outside the house, it becomes progressively, more challenging. Like you said, dealing with your neighbors. I got a neighbor down the block that ran grow lights. So,
what are they doing with grow lights, Michael?
They were legitimate doing tomatoes, but they were tomatoes.
Yep. I had a street light across the street, a high pressure sodium, and it was kind of doing the pop. It would light and it'd get hot and it'd shut off. It'd get hot and it'd shut off, and I was getting interference from that for a while. I actually called the city, or not the city, because the street lights here are handled by
the utility.
Yeah. I called them and they actually fixed the light.
Yep. So. That's costing them money. So if you've got a street light that's doing stuff like that, flashing on and off, or it's on all the time, there's a pole. There's a pole number. Take down that number and then look at your utility bill, and there's a phone number you can call, and they'll send a crew out there and fix it.
I didn't even tell them the ham thing. I just said it was turning on. It was flashing on and off at night. Yeah, and they fixed it. Yeah,
because that's an energy waster for them because they're paying that bill. So, but common mode chokes on both ends of your coax on the antenna side, and then and also right at the transmitter. Sometimes that can get rid of some of that man-made noise. Different types of antennas. A lot of think about like a a specific, if your transceiver has the ability of a receive only port, think of a receive only antenna. A lot of people like to put a big loop antenna on the ground. They're very quiet, and use that for receive, and that'll help eliminate some of that noise. Vertically polarized antennas can have a little bit more, they're a little more susceptible to man-made noise than horizontally polarized ones. So, if you're going to use a receive antenna, make sure it's, horizontally polarized. That'll help reduce that receive noise floor, because it doesn't matter how you're transmitting. You could transmit on anything, and the noise isn't going to affect your transmitting. It's the receiving that you need to knock down. So.
Yeah. Another thing you do is just take a cheap AM radio, little handheld AM radio, because it's got the little bar magnet or bar antenna in it, right?
Yep.
And that's directional and it's horizontal, and you can turn that and walk around your neighborhood, and you can kind of pinpoint some noises as well.
Yep. Exactly. So hopefully that kind of gives you the direction to go to kind of, I live in both Joe and I live in residential areas. So noise is always a never ending a problem for us too.
It's always a fight. Yeah.
Always a fight. You think you got it settled, and then then a new neighbor moves in. So,
which is it's a revolving door around here lately. Whew.
Yeah. Kiwi SDR receiver on the internet, remote receive sites. That helps. You can subscribe to remote receivers in order to get away from the noise and then transmit from your home location. So.
Yep.
Okay. The fireman's asking, what's that program behind me? That is that map is from a geochron. I've always wanted, if you remember the old timey clocks that had that showed the sun cycle for the day with the dip and all that. Remember the movie Hunt for Red October? It's in that movie. It's usually you see it in the anything that involves like the war room had those classic geochron clocks. I always wanted one of those. Last year, now they make a model that runs on just a little standalone device, and you plug it into a 4K monitor. So I've got that running behind me, and I got that's my sort of my heads up ham radio display. I can see where the gray line is. I can see the solar conditions. I can see DX spots, and if I'm before I go out, I take a look at my screen and say, well, yeah, I think I can do something on the bands. So,
unlike the rest of us who just look at QRZ.
Oh, you could do that too. Yeah, whatever floats your boat. It's a good conversation starter, to say the least. So, all right. Well, I think we went through a lot of stuff here tonight.
We covered quite a bit, yes.
Quite a bit, and I'm just looking through here. If I'm missing any questions. George asks, can a J-pole be mounted on a 20-foot flagpole used for CWDX anyway? It certainly can. I did a video about a year or so ago on making a 10-meter J-pole antenna out of wire. I lifted it with my 7-meter or 23-foot fiberglass mast, and it's a DX screamer. So if you want to, if you want to do 10-meter DX, think about the 10-meter J-pole antenna. Let's see if there's any others here that I missed, and I think. All right, I think we're pretty well. We're pretty well good here. So, yeah, sort of like ham clock. Yep, it is. It's a ham clock is free. I think it's this is a paid service. But the data is I find valuable. So, okay, so Oh, good show. And we pretty much talked about everything we needed to talk about. So our next show is coming up in September, Tuesday, September 4th. And
It'll
it's going to
be the Tuesday right after Labor Day.
The Tuesday right after Labor Day. And it is a very special occasion because it's also
real big show. Real big show.
Real big shoe. It's going to be a really big shoe. It's our 5th anniversary special. And
how have we been doing this for 5 years, Michael?
We've been doing this. We've been meeting on Thursdays, the first Thursday of the month, for 5 years now.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like, church on Sunday.
Almost like church.
It's a holy day of obligation. Michael's version, he doesn't know anything about that. I grew up Catholic.
I do know about guilt. Catholic guilt spilled over into the Lutheran Church. So
the Wisconsin Synod is still all about guilt. So we're okay.
So we got plenty of that. We just don't need to do the
all the Hail Marys. There's not so many Hail Marys involved.
You got the confession, but you don't have the penance.
Right. Just go in peace.
That's right. So we're old now. Time for kindergarten. You're right.
Yeah.
So we'll try to put something special together for next month. Otherwise, it will be an auspicious occasion. So.
Yes.
Okay. But that's coming up Tuesday the 5th, or Tuesday the 4th of September. So. Last question. Any thoughts on World Radio League, WRL? I've looked at it a little bit. World Radio League is done by the same people that do Ham Prep, the license instructional course, and it does logging and everything else for you. You can take it out portable. I haven't really played with it, but some people that use it really like it. I use a different application for logging, so it's I'm not really keep tied into their system. So
yeah.
So all right. And the questions keep coming. The best way to barbecue, cook up some brats, sear them first. Put them in a pan with beer and onions and let them finish cooking. There you go. So
I always do it backwards. I always boil my beer first and I sear them.
Yeah. It's the official Johnsonville method is to sear first and then to simmer. Sear then simmer.
Oh, okay.
I've done it both ways. I find I like to do sear then simmer, because then I can get the color on them right away, stick them in the bath, and go and do my other stuff. So get the sides ready. So okay. So that is it. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us, and it's been a great time. Hope to see you next month. So I'm Michael, KB9VBR.
And I'm Joe, KD9CJX 73.
Have a great evening.